answer that poll. Okay. There are two questions, question 1 and 2. Okay. In the meantime, so GDSC is a Google Developers Program for university students like you and I to bridge the gap between theory and practice. And we all know that our universities tend to give more preference to theory rather than practice. So we're going to attack from the other end. Okay, so it's also a space for us to learn and collaborate as we solve problems. Big emphasis on the word collaborate. Okay, we're going to see that later on. So this is the data science / machine learning track. Basically, these are two very similar things. In fact, people would argue that machine learning is a subset of data science, and they would be right. Okay, we're going to see why they're different. Data science is all about, it's very simple. It's all about data gathering, data analysis, and decision making. Now, data gathering is simply collection of data or information, right? So if I were to collect the phone numbers of everyone on this group, that would count as data collection / data gathering. And data analysis. Now, the thing about tech people is they always like to use these words that will make what they're doing sound complex. Okay, but data analysis is just data studying. If you just study the data that you're looking at, okay. So, say I collect your phone numbers and your names. If I just look at that data, I study it. That qualifies as data analysis. Okay, so decision making. Now, whatever I decide to do with that data, whatever I learn from that data, and whatever I decide to do with it counts as decision making. Okay. So this part where it says it's about finding patterns in data, this is where machine learning comes into play, right? So whenever we want, at times we don't want to find the patterns ourselves. We want an automatic way of finding patterns. So that's where machine learning comes into play. Okay. So data science is used in many industries in the world today. Healthcare, banking, manufacturing, basically any industry that collects data of any type can benefit from data science. Okay. And the application sorry, ranges from route planning, promotional offers, and we can also predict who will win elections. Now, I could stay and give you a list of applications, or I could just go ahead and show you my GitHub. Show you something on GitHub. So over to this one. Head over to this guy. Okay. So let's skip to the good parts. Okay. As humans, we're very visual creatures. Okay, we like visual information best, right? So immediately you see this. This is about COVID-19, by the way. Immediately you see this, you have a sense of, oh, this Lagos state has the highest number of confirmed cases. If you look at this, you remember, I don't know if this makes you flash back to 2020, where NSCDC made us very familiar with confirmed, discharged, and death cases. Okay, so from here you could just look and say, oh, okay, Lagos is a state that has the highest confirmed cases, ditto for discharged cases, and same thing for death cases. Okay. You could also see this chart. From the looks of it, sorry, just a second. Sorry. Is there any issues? You can hear and see me well. Hello. Okay, cool. So if you're looking at this chart, obviously blue is confirmed, right? number of confirmed cases is in blue. We have recovered cases in red and death cases in yellow. So from this, it's pretty easy to see that there's a linear growth of confirmed cases, of number of confirmed cases, and we can see that somewhere between is this July? Yeah, July and October 2021, there was a massive dip in the number of recoveries. Yeah, so that gives you a sense of there's been a problem at that point, right? Probably maybe the vaccinations were not being rolled out properly at that time, or people were not conforming to the rules that were set. Okay, people were not obeying the lockdown rules, something like that. Okay, this kind of tells you that there's been the kind of gives you a sense of, yeah, there's a problem there. Okay, and you can also see for the death we have a slow but steady increase in the number of deaths. So this daily infection rate, where we have the number of new infections every single day. And we could also see that somewhere around December to January 2021, there's been a massive spike in daily infection rates. Okay, so we can look at relationships between variables, something like confirmed cases and vulnerability index. Correlation is a very, very sweet tool to use. My personal favorite is this, where we have the relationship between age and acute IHR. Now, acute IHR is just the amount of healthcare someone would need. And so what this chart is telling us, as the yellow and blue kind of follow each other very well, is telling us that, people that are older will tend to need more healthcare. Like, they're going to need more intensive healthcare than people that are younger. And that's something that we're told almost all the time during COVID crisis. I can show you all of these. I like this one too. Now, if you plot the daily infection rate and you plot the vaccinations being rolled out, you find out that at the time that vaccinations got a spike, daily infection rate it dropped and it sort of plateaued. So what that tells us is that vaccination is the solution. Okay, so I'll give you another example of this. Um, okay, this is another great example. As a disclaimer, I do not work for the APC. I just happen to be hired by the APC at some point to do data analysis. Okay, so their goal was to try to find out. Sorry, their goal was to find out where is their stronghold. Okay, so where do they need to worry about other parties, and where do they need not to worry about other parties. So here in the state, you can see that APC is like majority of people think that APC is the dominant party in Nasarawa State. Not far behind is PDP, and then a little bit far behind is SDP and the rest. So from this, they get the intuition that, we don't need to worry that much about these parties, not so much for PDP. Okay, same thing. This is the same information, but in a pie chart. And right here, I like this particular one. Yeah, no, this one. This one also tells them that, in Kefi, they need to tighten their belt. Fun fact, Kefi is where I am. So in Kefi, APC needs to tighten their belt because SDP is coming for them in Kefi. And so they're going to use this data. Sorry, they're going to use this analysis, right? Going to use this analysis to know where to focus their campaigns, right? Basically. And finally, another one that I would love to show you is this one. Let me share. So I'm going to stop presenting to show my entire screen because we need my entire screen for this. Okay, cool. Now, this is what data looks like. Okay, data we're talking about, this is what it looks like. And if you have eagle eyes, you'll find out that this is actually your data for everyone that RSVP'd for this event. You know, have your first name, your last name, your email, which has been censored for privacy purposes, um, the time that you checked in. Okay, so this is what the data we're talking about looks like. And as a data scientist, you are responsible for taking this and turning it into stuff like this. Okay, and so I actually did something like that. Just real quick. Ah, cool, interesting. I have to stop this guy. So let me go back to sharing just my browser tab. Sorry, trying to run this thing real. Trying to launch it. Okay. Now from that Excel I showed you about your RSVPs, we got this, and this is a plot showing what time uh, you guys RSVP'd for the event. This is in 24 hours, right? And so right here, about 16, which is like 4 p.m., showed the highest number of registrations, right? And here we have the highest number of registrations on Sunday. So from this now I can say, oh, okay, I need to make my events, I need to publish my events before Sunday 4 p.m. because that's when people register the most. Okay, so I'm already making decisions from that data. And my favorite is this one here, where you guys filled your titles, and majority of you are CEOs. Majority of you are CEOs. So very nice to have plenty CEOs on my call. Okay. Now, moving on. How do we go from jargon? I call that Excel spreadsheet jargon. Okay, how do we move from that to those insightful presentations? And so we have a couple of steps that almost every data scientist is like the everyday tool, everyday language for data scientists. Which is the first is to explore and collect data. But this part is mostly going to be done for you by the people that are hiring you. So a good example would be this one, where they gave the data to me and they asked, oh, okay, perform your analysis, give us your insights so we can know what to do. Okay. So this part is mainly going to be done to you, but be done for you by your sort of employer, and then clean the data. Now, sometimes the real world is very, very messy. Okay, so data might not come in the way that you want it, in the format that you want. Okay, you're responsible for cleaning your data. You have to find and replace missing values yourself. Um, if you look at the data I showed you, the Excel spreadsheet I showed you, some of you did not fill in the title. And so that's an example of finding of missing values. Okay. So normalizing data is a bit of a more advanced topic. It's basically, it has to do with scaling your variables. But yeah, we're going to do that later. I don't want to bore you with details in this class. And to analyze data is, again, just means to study, find patterns. You could do this yourself, or you could employ a machine learning model to do this for you. Okay, and make future predictions. So just like how I decided to publish my events on Sundays, 4 p.m. Before then, that's exactly what we mean by making predictions. Okay, so I'm using data to make decisions and future predictions. And so representing the result just means communicating it in putting it in a communicable way for people that are non-technicals. Okay. So what are our tools to achieve this thing? What tools do we use to go from that data to something like this? Now, I should mention that our tools are very easy to get. In data science, our tools are very, very easy to get. We don't have to install one very just these two. This is Visual Studio Code. It's an IDE, small IDE. It's very lightweight. And this is Python. So Python I'm very sure you've heard of Python before, but Python is just a programming language. And basically what that means is the language a computer understands. Okay. Um, so this is one way of doing it. It's easy to get these two set up, but there are multiple ways to do the same thing. Right? We could choose to use this set of tools, or we could use another set of tools that are even easier to get. Jupyter and Python. They're even easier to get, okay, to get running. And that is what we're going to implement today. We're going to get Jupyter and Python working on our laptops today, okay? So grabbing Python is as easy as heading to Google, download Python, the official Python website. Go there. And it's as easy as downloading the latest version of Python for Windows. For the Mac guys, you could search, oh yeah, for your OS if you want, Mac or Linux if you want. So it's as easy as downloading Python here, allowing it to download. Sweet. Okay, so once that is done, you have an exe, you can run it to install Python. And obviously, I already have Python on my computer, so I'm not going to do that, but it's very easy. Now, once you're done installing Python, you now have a language that your computer understands. Basically, your computer speaks Python now. And Python comes with a couple of things. It comes with something called pip, okay? And pip is just it's kind of an errand boy. I like to call it an errand boy. So just like how we went to Google, downloaded Python to our computer, when we want to get extensions or any sub tools, we use pip, okay? And to use pip, we share my screen again. I have to share my entire screen once again. To share my entire screen. Where are you? Right here. Okay. Let's share the other window. Okay. Now you could check if So for Windows guys, you could go to your command prompt. This is just command prompt, or terminal for Mac guys. So you could check if your Python is installed by writing Python dash dash version. And if it returns something, a string for you, then you know that Python is correctly installed. So to use pip, remember, pip is our errand boy. And we want pip to go and download Jupyter Notebook for us. Okay, so we go and say pip install Jupyter. I think this is how to put it. Install Jupyter Notebook. Interesting. We have an error. Now, I like it when I encounter errors, because that's how the world works. We're bound to make mistakes. Okay, so thankfully there's something called Google for us. Okay, how to install Jupyter Notebook. Okay. Official website. It says here you just need to pip install notebook. Okay, copy that. To keep on sharing and sharing my screen. I think I will just share the entire screen once and for all. Okay, cool. Now mine is saying the requirement already satisfied, because I already have these packages, but yours is going to start downloading something like soup sieve. Okay, it's going to have to download all of these libraries. So when that is done, let's go. What does it say? It says to run the notebook, we just say Jupyter Notebook. These commands are in our terminal. Okay, say Jupyter Notebook. Cool. Shows you a tree of, let's create a new notebook. And so Python, like I said, is the language, right? And notebook is where we're writing, Jupyter Notebook is where we're writing commands, right? Is where we're going to communicate with that computer. We're communicating using Python, but where are we communicating? We're communicating in Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so let's go ahead here and create a new notebook based on Python. Okay, and if you can create something like this and say, and basically do something like my name is dash dash. If you can do this, then you're all set. Everything is working, and you're ready for data science. Okay, so let's go back here. Now, like I said, our tools are very easy. In like 10 minutes, we already have our tools ready. All right. So if you're a lazy person, you're even lazier than this, you don't want to install anything on your computer, there's a solution for you. There's something for you as well. There's something called Colab for you. And it's also a service provided by Google. And if you want to use Colab, now this is for people that do not want to install anything on their computers, or if you do not have a computer at the moment. Another Google search, Google Colab. If you have a Google account, you already have, it's very easy to set your Google Colab to get it working. Okay, once you come to Google the research that collab.research.google.com, this is what's going to greet you. Okay, with some walkthroughs of how to use it. Okay, so you can check that out here later. Now we have our tools ready. What's next? I should also mention that you need help. you're going to need help a lot when you're doing data science. And we've seen how Google already helps us a lot in this class, in this session. There's something called Stack Overflow, and it's a forum. It's basically a question and answer forum where you can go and ask a question, a technical question, and probably an expert somewhere is going to attend to you. Right? Those guys are very, very brilliant. They're super experts. They can help you with almost anything. Okay, so these are our sources of help: Google, Stack Overflow, and official documentation. We're going to talk about official documentation later on. So as for our track curriculum, we're going to cover, let's look at what we're going to cover in data science track. We're going to look at Python, but very quickly. I don't want to waste a lot of time looking at Python, studying Python. No, I'm very sure we can pick it up as we go. I love application based teaching. Okay, so we're going to do an even shorter overview of statistics. Remember, we're not going to do the statistics that you find in school classes. And no, we're going to come from the practical aspect. Okay, we're going to look at something called pandas, very essential to data science. Then we're going to learn about visualizations. Now, by the time we're done with this, you're like very, very ready as a data scientist, and you can start taking data science gigs, okay, when we get to this point. And then we're going to do a gentle introduction to machine learning. Okay, the detailed curriculum for that is not yet ready as of time of recording. So that's what we're going to cover. If you want the link to this, I'm going to drop it in the chat box so you can look at it yourself. Now, track methodology. What's going to go on in our track? We're going to have two types of sessions. We're going to have technical sessions and chill sessions. Now, in technical, anytime we're coming to tackle anything that's included in this curriculum, that's basically our technical sessions. And I'm going to try my best to have some guests come and speak to us about some of these things here. We could also have them talk about their background. I usually find that kind of stuff interesting and inspiring. I do not want technical classes to be 100% technical. So we could take like 5-10 minutes and give them time to talk about themselves. Another thing, in technical classes, in case I know that things can get complex real quick. So we're going to use something called cups. We're going to use our own cups. This. How cups works is anytime you're in a technical session and you need me to stop. Okay, you're not following. You don't understand what's going on. You can click on this red to have me stop. Yellow if you think, yeah, you're following, but you're barely grabbing all the concepts. And green if everybody's going, if you're fine with all the concepts that I'm talking about. This is basically my way of getting feedback from you guys, real-time feedback. So it's as easy as going to this link here, which I'm also going to drop in the messages here. Okay, so as easy as going there and clicking something like green. So that will let me know that, oh, okay, you're following. Yellow, you're following but not fully, and then red if I should stop. I'm going to have my own feedback here. Now for the chill sessions are where we come, just be free, talk about any projects that we're taking, show off anything we're working on, or just a chill session. Okay, strictly non-technical, that's what I'll call it. So finally, I think we're done with everything. we can start taking questions now if you have any question. Let me come back here. You could also type in, okay, so the last link will always be dropped at any of our session. Yeah, sure. So Abdulsalam Ibrahim says the last link will always, let me stop sharing. Abdulsalam Ibrahim says the last link will always be dropped at any of our sessions. Yes, fine. You can also request for for the link if you want in that in the session. Let me scroll through, see if there's any other question. Haruna is raising up his hand. Go ahead, Harun Muhammad. Muhammad.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for your time. Actually, we really enjoyed the class. Thank you very much. I have a quick question though. You were talking of normalization. Is it normalization of data or something like that? I think in the third or fourth slide. Sorry, can you please put more light on that because I'm kind of confused on that. Yeah,
Okay,
you
so
get the question, right?
yeah, I got your question. So it's a good question. Let me get my whiteboard. Okay. Let me get my whiteboard. So normalizing is a method of, sorry, just let me, I want to get my, let's get my, let me just show whiteboard because it's best explained with whiteboard. Get that ready. Can everyone see my whiteboard? I guess no. Let me share my entire screen again. Okay, how about now?
Yeah, we can see the board.
Cool. Okay, so normalization. Now, when you have something like data, let's say something like age, you have a column for age, and you have a column for something that's high, something like income. Okay, and you have like 27, 36, 18, 21, blah blah blah. And for income, typically income ranges from 246,581. Just cooking up numbers on the fly. Okay, so say you have a typical age column as part of your data set, and you want to plot the relationship between age and income. Okay, so you can see age is it has a range between, here we have age ranging between 18 to 36, right? And typically age ranges from maybe 1 to, let's say, 120. Okay, and for income is in thousands. In fact, it's in hundreds of thousands here, quite realistically. Okay, it's in hundreds of thousands. And imagine you trying to plot something like that. Okay, trying to plot something like that. You're going to have, say this is age, this is income, and you have here from 0 to a million, and age you have 0 to a million. Now imagine you're trying to plot this. It's going to be like super cramped, right? We're going to have, the data points are going to be something like this. Going to be some I don't know if you understand what I mean. So it's going to be cramped on one axis, okay, because they're not in the same kind of range. So what we do is, I'm not going to give you the details of normalization now. I don't want to bore you with details, but normalization is something that helps us to spread things out. Maybe make them in the same range from 0 to 1, have income and age both range from 0 to 1. Okay, so that data will look more sparse like this, will look more evenly distributed like this. Okay, and generally, the one thing that takes advantage of this the most is machine learning models. They take advantage of normalization the most. We're going to look into that a lot more in detail later on. Okay. Um, any more questions? Let me stop sharing. Go ahead, Abdul Salam Ibrahim. Thank you for that question, Harna.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Dahiru. It's actually been a wonderful class, and that's been interesting. What I would like to ask is that it's always said that looking at all the what's it called, what we've been showing since the beginning of the class, it looks like one will actually make use of Excel, because I think Excel do more of graphs and all. How how important is it to understand Excel very well? Because I learned that Excel is actually more than what we think it is. It's it's really very complicated more
Powerful.
than we think it is. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. Now, that's a very good question. So I should give you a background here. Excel, the functions that we use every day in Excel are like just the tip of the iceberg. And Excel is capable of doing very, very powerful things. In fact, there's this there's this guy and Jeremy Howard. He's very popular for doing deep learning. That's like another layer of machine learning. Like he's popular for doing deep learning on Excel. Okay, so um, for what we're going for the purpose of data science here, you could argue that um, you could say you want to you could use Excel to do data science. Yes, it's very possible. But there are some tools if you want to be more flexible. If you want to be more flexible with more math, okay. So there's this thing called pandas, right? And it's more suitable for data science, but you could also do data science in Excel, but it's not very flexible, right? It's not very flexible, but quite alright. You can do data science with Excel. That's a very good question, actually. Thank you for that question. Any other question, please? Nobody has a question. We have about 8 minutes left. We do not have any other questions. Okay. Go ahead, Aladipo Caleb. Thank you. Go ahead.
So yes, I was asking concerning data science, data analysis, machine learning. Is it that they are embedded in each other or they are separate fields?
Okay. Let me show you. Let me share my screen once again and show you this. This one particular one I'm looking for. Let me use this. Okay. So quite all right. There are people that separate the two of them. There are people that say data science is different from machine learning. Okay, but just like I said, I mentioned in that slide that um, the main difference lies here in finding patterns. Now, the only difference to me is when you're finding patterns yourself. Okay, you're not taking advantage of you're not using any automatic tools. You're finding the patterns yourself. That's to me that's data science. And then when you're using machine learning models to do it automatically. Okay, we're going to also look at something like that. But when you're using, the only difference is this finding patterns. Okay, so if you're having a machine go into the data and do everything itself, okay, find patterns itself, then that's machine learning for me. That's the difference. It lies in just finding the patterns. Please, have I answered your question? Okay, Abdul Salam Ibrahim has another question. Please go ahead. But back to Caleb, did I answer your question? Are you clear? Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Abdul Salam Ibrahim.
Yes, I learned that a lot of people in, did I say in crypto? I don't know if my question is related, but I would like to put it here. I don't know if you have the answer to that. I learned that a lot of people say when what's it called? When people that are into crypto and what's it called? Blockchain in general.
Yeah.
So and then that some people make use of machine to help them in running some softs and the likes. Is it kind of related to what you've actually explained now?
Yes, very, very much. So remember I said find patterns. Cool? Right? I said find patterns. Now when you have a machine learning model, find the pattern. Now stocks data is called a time series data. This type, the one we looked at is a normal kind where we have age, your name and all of that is a normal tabular data. Okay. But the kind of data that you get from cryptocurrencies is majorly their price, right? Let's say their price yesterday, their price today, their price 2 days ago, right? So whenever data is spread, like it's time spread, whenever data is time spread, it's called time series data. Okay, so when you feed that kind of data to a machine learning model and you have it go and find patterns and say, oh, okay, it looks like yesterday when this happened, it dropped, it made the stock for today drop. That means it made the next entry in the data, it made it drop, right? So when the machine is the one doing this finding of patterns, okay, it's the one going into the data to find those patterns for you. That's using machine. That's what people call using machine learning to predict stock prices. Okay, when you use a machine to find patterns. Thank you. That's very interesting. Actually, very interesting question. Uh, yes, he says, "Wow, data analysis is the future." Hopefully, yes, it is. It is the future. Do you have any other question? We have about 2 minutes left. Yes, go ahead, Mazud Ahatu. You can unmute your mic and ask your question or type it in the in-call messages. What's his name? Okay, it's like he decided not to ask his question again. So for the chill sessions, I'm going to talk to our leader, our general lead, Mr. Alande Daniel. We need to ask him where is going to be more suitable for having those sessions at a WhatsApp. We do have a WhatsApp community, and I think let me share the link to that. Okay. Oh, there are questions underneath. This is what are the opportunities for freelancing? What are the opportunities for freelance work as a student in ML? Okay. There are a bunch of freelance websites that you could go on and find data science gigs. But obviously, those things require you to have a very strong portfolio. Okay. You need to essentially build yourself, build projects, show your strengths before people would give you money to do data science for them. Okay, um, but that's one way to go about it. Another way is, sorry, just ask this question. Okay. Yeah, so basically, like I said, there are freelance websites if you want to do that. And fun fact is, basically we are a team, right? We're a team, data science slash machine learning track. We're a team. So just like the project that I did with Nasarawa State Government, I'm very happy to share future projects like that with us. We can do it together as a team, and we can share the benefits later on. Yeah, that's actually in my plans. Yeah. So Muaz would Alhatu said, "Hello, is there a kind of hangout slash group for data analysts slash data scientists? I'd love to make or be part of such if there is. Thank you." So like I said, we have our WhatsApp platform. That's our own, and you can always go into things like Quora, Stack Overflow, Twitter. Twitter, it's lovely. It's a very sweet community. You can find people with same interests as you. Yeah, but yeah, basically you can just join this WhatsApp group. It's great. We're going to share resources there, and I also share some other forums. Yes, there's a lot of opportunities in data science. Any other question? Very important to stay hydrated. Okay. I think we're through with questions. Yeah, very important. Sorry, I just rejoined due to poor connections. Just poor connection. Have you answered my question? Yes. About the group or hangout for data analysts slash data scientists. First, let me drop this again. So a good first step is joining our WhatsApp group. Okay, from there, there's a lot of people with the same interest as you. Okay, data scientists like us. You could also, I mentioned Twitter. Twitter is a very good place if you want to connect with like-minded people. Also, LinkedIn, they're very important as well. Um, find people that have the same sort of and opportunities too. Yeah. There are so many opportunities in those platforms if you use them the right way. But I encourage you to join our WhatsApp group. Okay. Um, Daniel, you're in the call. Do you have any input?
No. I don't. I'm just here to learn from the boss. So, so it's all your court, sir.
Please, don't let him to misguide you. He is the general boss. Daniel is our overall lead. That's about an hour, right? So thank you guys for tuning in. It was wonderful. I hope to see you in the next class. Bye. I can leave now, right?